Yes, people. Welcome back to Grounded Football. Sorry we're a little bit late. We got caught behind on schedule with the football and everything. But I've got Charlotte with me at the moment. I've got Daniel from Eyes on the Ball TV coming on. We've got RDS joining us as well. We're going to delve into the top four and we're going to delve into who we believe is going to make the top four. Do we think Liverpool are going to be in the Europa League? Do you think Chelsea are going to make it? Has Everton got a chance? Has Aston Villa got a chance? Can Arsenal and Spurs work their way back up into this? There's going to be so many different things that we're going to talk about and the reasons why we think they can or they can't. But let's drop the intro quickly. Yes, people. So looking at the chat, Velvetron's here. This is big up Jeb and Charlotte. Big up to you, my bro. I hope you are all well. Charlotte, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. What about yourself?
Yeah, not bad, actually. Not bad. We've got 2 or 3 people here at the moment. Please smash the like button. Please share as well, please. I haven't managed to be able to share it quickly. I'm going to do that quickly on my phone now, just to try and get an audience built up. But yeah, talk to us, Charlotte. What's been happening? You've been watching the Ronaldo games, so tell us what you're saying about that.
I mean, I didn't actually realize Ronaldo was on the pitch until like the last 5 minutes. To be honest, I mean, like I genuinely the first half. I came in like a little bit late on the first half because I was watching the Borussia Dortmund game, and I came into the a little bit late, and I was like, oh, why haven't they got Ronaldo starting? And then I saw him on camera and I was like, oh, he's actually on the pitch, because I don't know what happened to the Ronaldo we all know, but he did not turn up tonight. Like until the last like 5 minutes when he was falling already and it wasn't a penalty, and then he had a hissy fit over it. He literally hit the ground. Like he was genuinely like whacking the ground like a toddler. I was like, what the hell? But the Dortmund game was also really good. Haaland got 2 goals. Very impressive. Yeah. But Sevilla got goals back. They got 2 goals back. So both games are anyone's to take in the second leg. Which I think is interesting because Porto had a 2-0 lead until they got sloppy in the last 15 minutes. And their defense got sleepy. They fell asleep and they got a goal. They weren't marking. The Dortmund game, the goals were just, the first goal was deserved, but the second goal shouldn't have happened. Haaland obviously saw Mbappe get that hat trick yesterday and was like, "Oh, I've got to turn up today," and he turned up. So, I mean,
Haaland is a beast. Let's be serious. He's an actual beast at the moment. He's on next level at the moment with everything going on. And that's what Jose CFC has just said there. I mean, if you had the choice of Haaland or Mbappe, who would you choose out of the 2 as well?
Looking at statistics, technically Mbappe's statistics are technically better. I think there's not much in, like, goal-wise, Haaland's got more. Assists, Mbappe's got more. But overall time and minutes and on average, Mbappe is the better player. However, Mbappe sometimes does die down a little bit, like, whereas at the minute Haaland is on a roll, and I think Haaland's more suited for Chelsea, so I'd probably take Haaland. I don't know if Mbappe would fit our Chelsea, if I'm honest. I don't know if I could see that. But I mean, either one of them I'd take. Like, even though I say I wouldn't, like, either one of them I would take, because they are absolute, like, they do their job. Like, we need that. They do their job. They're strikers that get goals. Like, we need this. Like, Haaland and Mbappe need to, like, slide into, like, Werner, Abraham, Pulisic.
We'll just give them Pulisic. Like, we'll give them, who else they want. Ziyech, we don't need him as well.
They can take Pulisic and Ziyech, Kepa. We'll even chuck Kepa and Mendy in for free. Get Oblak and get Haaland, and that would be happy. Like, I'd be happy then.
Big
Like,
up to everyone in the chat at the moment. Steve's here with us as well. Big up to Steve. He's one of the guys that comes on the GNA TV quite a lot. I can see a lot of people from GNA TV slowly coming in. Obviously, we've just retweeted it as well. We appreciate your support, guys. What if he comes to Chelsea and Tammy outscores another striker that comes in? Real Chris, man. Come on. He can't do
but
that.
just to clarify, Werner has been playing in his wrong position. His confidence has been completely knocked. If you were chucked in your wrong position because your manager didn't trust you to play in your rightful position, that would slowly break you down week after week. He got his first goal. Let's build his confidence back up again. Although I am quite happy to spend 120 million on Oblak and however much on Haaland, because I need both of them, because Chelsea have never purchased a world-class goalkeeper. Never. We created one.
No.
Mourinho created one, but we've never bought one.
Oh, God, here we go. Wait a sec. Jerry's coming out of it, people. Are you ready? I'm officially giving up. 21 is not coming. City won the league. It took you this long, bro. It took you this long to realise it. Come on.
Do you know what the problem is?
Madness.
I think the problem is that Man United don't do well under pressure, and we are seeing this now. Like, they drew, Ole doesn't work good under pressure, and this is not anything against him. Some managers just don't do well under pressure. Ole is one of those. The team doesn't do well under pressure. The team literally just goes, oh my God, we're panicking. Oh, we're trying to get goals. Oh my God, I'm panicking. And I think the fact is that Leicester are on the same points as them. We are 4 points. We are 4 points away from them.
You did, Velvishwan. You spent 120 million on Ozan Kabak, the Turkish VVD.
Kabak's the one that speared.
He's the Turkish
Alisson.
warrior, Ozan Kabak. Yeah,
he speared Alisson to give them the goal.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
That was well worth your money. I mean, if you're in WWE, that's worth your money, but you're not. You're trying to play football or not rugby.
I know listen, Charlotte, I know what being Turkish myself, I know what Turkish people are like when it comes to football. I remember playing in the Turkish league, and these guys, man, they don't let you, like, if you go around them, they just kick you. They make sure that you are brought down. Like, that's their kind of football. It's serious. Moving on with that, we've got, just going through some of these chats, what we got here. Winter Surf is here. Everyone, there's 11 of you here at the moment. Please smash the like button. Please share on your Twitters as well. And please, can we also like? Let's get to 20. Subscribe if you're new here as well, please. And we're going to have hopefully some more panelists on as well. We are going to delve into the main topic, which is why everyone's here at the moment. And the main topic of today is who can make the top 4, and it doesn't have to be the current top 4. We could be talking about the Evertons, the Villas, even the Spurses, the Arsenals. If people want to talk about, I want people in the chat to let us know who they think are going to make the top 4. We're going to go through each individual team and what we believe their chances are. Not all of them from top to bottom, but from 1 to maybe 8, because that's how close it is at the moment.
So Arsenal don't count that then.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Arsenal don't count on that. But 1 win for Arsenal when they're back into it. So maybe we will mention Arsenal. Real Chris says, so if we get Haaland with that would give Werner the boost he needs, potentially, bro. Potentially.
Well, it would, because if you've got someone to compete with on your level, and I'm not being offensive to Abraham, he's our top goal scorer and he's done our job for us with the goals. However, he's not on Werner's level. If you look at how Werner played at Dortmund, he's not. And if we get Haaland, that's competition. That means that Werner has to step up his game, actually turn up.
No, I hear that. So looking at what we were saying, Real Chris says he's going for a City, Chelsea, Leicester, Man United, or a Liverpool, right? Which is cool. We're gonna delve into that. You've got Christian says City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. So Liverpool is still creeping in people's minds at the moment, and they're going to make it. I
would have said Leicester.
Are we all? But we're going to get to that. Are we all in agreement that Manchester City are winning the title? I mean, it's theirs to lose, isn't it, Charlotte? I mean, it's got to be, isn't it?
The first half of their game today, they were pretty poor, to be honest. I mean, they did come back in the second half, and I can't fault them for that. But all it takes is for a team like United, a team like Leicester, like even Chelsea could take advantage of their slip-ups in the first half, and it's game over for them. And I'm not, but it is theirs to lose. That's what I mean. Like, they're slipping up in the first half, and Everton get a goal from it. Now, if Everton had continued that and beaten them, that would have been like, that was on you. Like, you messed up. But City came back, and fair play to them. But it, as you said, it is City's to lose. And if City want to lose it, then carry on.
I agree. Look, I think City are well away with it. I reckon Liverpool should just take their golden badge off their arm right now. I know Steve's here as well. Take it off your arm and just give it to Man City now. To be honest, I think you should just concede it. I mean, I think Man City are a beast. They've woke up. They've won 17 games in a row. This is their 17th game that they've won. You know, it's massive. You know, Steve's actually just said here. Go on.
I think the most exciting. I think the realistic part of Liverpool being champions is knowing they will never get to sing or brag about being champions in a stadium. Like that for me, like
the worst.
Because by the time that we go back in like at the end of the year, new champions will be crowned, meaning they will never have had a chance to like get cocky and be like, yeah, we're champions, like all this stuff that I can't deal with.
No, I hear you. Yeah, so that's Man City. Now, who do we believe is going to make second?
I have a tie between this, and I think a few Chelsea fans have said this, but I think it's going to be United or Chelsea.
Say it with chest. Let's say it with chest. And
Chelsea second. Chelsea.
Why Chelsea second? Why are we going with Chelsea second? I mean, for me,
well, I think
we can catch Man United.
But this is what I mean. We've gone from being ninth to people laughing at us, telling us that we're going to be relegated and all this rubbish, to actually turning up in 4 games. We've gone from ninth to 4th. We are above Liverpool. Yeah. We are above Liverpool. We are 4 points away from Leicester and Man U. Like, all we take is 2 wins and United and Leicester to drop points in either one of their matches, and we go above them and we go to second. That's all it takes. Like, this is my point. Like, we are going up and they are struggling. Like, I'm not ruling my team out because I believe in my team. Although we have only played against the lesser clubs, which is my issue. We've
definitely got bigger tests coming up. Like,
I feel like the United game's going to be a big game. I think I'm really glad that the Liverpool game's been postponed for us because of the FA Cup. Which is going to be a fabulous break. Like, thank God we made it to the FA Cup. There was a God, because they realised we needed a break to play Leicester. Which I think is actually going to do us the world of good, because we had City, then Leicester, City and then Liverpool, and it's just too much. And I think that break with playing Sheffield in the FA Cup and maybe getting through to the next round against Sheffield would give us that boost to be like, yes, we can do this.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm going to look. I think Chelsea can do it. I think Man United, or it will be between Chelsea and Man United.
Sorry, Jem, I'm just gonna let my dog. I'm just gonna let my dog out. He's barking.
Go on,
Sorry.
Do your thing. It's fine. It's fine. Look, people. I think Chelsea can make second. You know, I really do. I think it's something that we have to be confident in. I think, to be honest, it could be anyone, but because I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm gonna back it and say that we're in good form. Tuchel's got us playing in a system. We look like we've got more of an identity. Now, the thing I will say, and I agree with Charlotte, is that we haven't played any of the harder teams, and March will be telling, because we've got Man United, Everton, and Leeds. You know, which are not going to be easy games. In between that, we've got Atletico Madrid's as well, which is always challenging as well. So for me, I think Chelsea can make second. Like, I really do. Let's see what people were saying in the chat. Chris says Chelsea will make second. Yeah, I don't see why we can't, bro. I really, really can't. Velvish One says, when United go top four, they were not nowhere near until Bruno came in and got them top four. Could we see this with Jota? So Velvish One's saying, because he's a Liverpool fan, he's saying when Jota comes back, our charge for top four could be here and there. So he's got a point, maybe, because Jota was scoring a lot of goals for them.
I'm not even playing this game anymore. Like, we're not going to be relying on players. When Hazard was injured, people used to tell us not to rely on players. People tell us when Ziyech was injured, people were telling us not to rely on players. You can't rely on players. Yeah. Your whole team is playing bad. Don't be like, oh, like with Jota back, it's all going to be like a miracle. We're all going to turn up again. Don't imagine happy endings, because I'm like the evil queen and I'm ready to slash your happy ending. Like, fairy tales don't exist. Like, this isn't happening. Like, we have to be realistic. Like, I'm realistic here that like we have a big month ahead of us, and that's going to decide where we finish, I believe. But you guys can't be relying on players. You can't. Your excuses for not winning the Champions League can't be like the Premier League again. Or even defending it, because you Liverpool haven't defended it. Let's be real. Since for the last couple of months, they haven't. Yeah. And you can't say, oh, Virgil van Dijk was out, and Jota was out. What you're seeing is that what I've known for a while, Alexander-Arnold is awful. He's overhyped. You're seeing all these players that aren't doing their jobs. Like, and you're seeing that Thiago isn't really that good.
Yeah, I hear you. Moving on to what I believe is obviously we're going into third now. Who do we think? I mean, Velvish, Jem, would you take Prime, Makelele, Terry, Chick or Hazard in this Chelsea team? Prime, Makelele, Terry, Chick or Hazard in? Yeah, Hazard for definite, Terry for definite, Check for definite. Yeah,
we need a goalkeeper. Do you know what?
I think on that one we would take them all in that sense.
Yeah.
Velvish One says, it's not because we are relying on Jota. He brings something different to the front three. He makes the 4-2-3-1 formation work. He interchanges. Oh yeah, I mean he gives you something different. I agree with that. I think he adds a different diversity into the way you play. I think with Firmino, you're very predictable with the way when he's on the pitch. So yeah, I can understand where you're going with that, Belshire. Moving on to third place. Who are we going with? Because obviously we've got Man City and Chelsea. Obviously, we're two Chelsea fans here at the moment. We have got RDS hopefully joining soon as well. Who's
United. But okay. I think that personally second and third is either going to be Chelsea second, Man U third, or Man U second and Chelsea third. I don't really seeing it go any other way. But I think Man United have a lot of pressure against them at the minute. They have teams that are, yes, I want him in the Atletico Madrid game. Yes, like he's played against them before, like he knows how to do that.
Man United better be afraid of Chelsea are hitting form and it's true we are. And at the same time, what you've got to bear in mind is Man United were 10 points ahead of us. It's now 4 points. And talking about that, we've got Daniel, my boy Daniel's in the house as well. What you saying, bro? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing? Jem, Charlotte, how you guys doing?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, not too
bad, bro. Not bad, man. Not bad. So we're talking about the top four, Dan. Yeah. So at the moment we're going. We've said Man City, we're going to make it. We just think it's theirs to lose now. There's no point really talking too much about it. And we said second, obviously because we're Chelsea fans at the moment. We have got a Man United fan hopefully coming in soon as well. We've said second Chelsea because at the moment, in terms of our form and the way we're going, we feel like it can be done. Who would you think would be second, bro? By the end of the season, think we can do it?
Yeah, no, I think we can. If you were to ask me, put a gun to my head and say where will you finish, I'll probably go safe and go third. But second's there for the taking. I mean, Man United aren't invincible. I mean, second for me in this Premier League season is just it's just a number. It doesn't necessarily mean you're the second best team in the league. Do you get what I'm saying? So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think it's there for the taking, man. But for me, definitely, we will finish in the top four, and I believe we will.
I think Man United fail in pressure, so I think It depends if Man United can deal with the heat. Like they have like a few teams like West Ham on the same points as us. Like we just are on top because of goal difference. They've got two teams 4 points behind. They've got one team on the same points as them, and Man City have just gone 10 points ahead of them. Like it's United's to lose.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're on to third now, Dan. And obviously, Charlotte said Man United. I'm actually going to drop in Leicester. I've got a feeling Leicester are going to. I just don't see. I think they've been so consistent against the top six at the moment, and it's massive. I mean, keeping Vardy fit is important. Madison's are playing well. They're solid at the back as well. I genuinely think Leicester can finish third, in my own honest opinion, humble opinion. Who would you go for in third position, my man?
Third position, I would go with it's tough one, man. I just think Man United will finish in the top 4 as well. So what will they finish above Liverpool? Do you know what? Wait, let me quick. What's the points gap between Liverpool and United? Let me check that quickly.
It's not big. I'll try and get it up on here as well. Let's get the table up. Fixtures. Let's get the fixture
the
list
table
up.
will help me see it quick.
Liverpool are on 40, Man U are on 40, so 6 points.
So it's a 6 point gap.
I think, bruv.
And Liverpool still need to play Man United, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, Liverpool. Tentatively, I will say Man United will finish. Do you know what? Who did I even say will finish second? I said Man United. So I'd say Chelsea third and then Liverpool fourth. Yeah, that's what will be the top 4 in some order. But yeah,
I think Liverpool
Charlotte,
will join Europa League.
I can't.
Who did you say?
I can't vote against.
I think Leicester. I think Leicester. And do you know why?
I've said Leicester as well.
I would have said that Liverpool would have stayed in my top 4 if that, because everyone's like they lost against Burnley, they lost against Brighton, against Anfield, and then they played City in Anfield. And I thought if they turn up for this City game, that's going to define it. But they haven't lost to Manchester City at Anfield since 2002 or 3, where Phil Foden was 2 years old. 2 years old, man. The man absolutely decided to get goals against them. Like, they haven't turned up against City, a team that they've never let beat, like, for nearly 20 years. Like, I don't... How long can we keep telling them that they're going to turn up? Like, how many times can we say, oh, Liverpool will turn up? Liverpool will turn up. They can turn up in the Champions League. They can't turn up in the Premier League. That's my issue. I don't know if the Premier League is their priority right now.
Do you know what it is, Charlotte, though? And I agree with that totally. I just think you get a bit of champion sympathy when it comes to these things. This isn't a 12-point gap we're talking about. This is a six, not even 6 point. They're 2 points off the top 4. Do you know what I'm saying? And I just can't vote against them based on what I know they can do. Like, I know we're saying they will turn up, but the reason why we're saying they'll turn up is because we've seen them do it and we know they can switch it on. So just for me, I'm not going to sit here and debate anyone who thinks Leicester will finish in the top 4. I think they definitely can. I'm just going to go based off the evidence that we have. Leicester seem to crumble when the going gets tough, and right now
but they haven't. Tough. And it's 25 games now, and there's only how many games are left? And it was usually around January time that they did crumble. If you bear in mind, they've actually, in my eyes, overcome some certain steps that are in the way in many ways.
Yeah.
Look, you might be right. The next 14, 15 games, they might capitulate. It could happen. Brendan, this is the thing with Brendan Rodgers. A lot of people call him a bit of a bottle job, but it's yet to be seen.
He's beaten a lot of the top 6 teams. Like, also, when Jamie Vardy was injured for a couple of games, I thought that was going to be the start of Leicester's downfall, because everyone knows that when Vardy gets injured, they kind of then it's around this kind of time that it's usually towards the beginning of February, end of February, that they kind of get injured and then they go downhill. But Jamie Vardy got injured and they're still winning. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, yeah, it wasn't the best play, but they still got the results. Like, I was a bit like, oh, this is not the usual Leicester, because usually when Vardy's injured, they just die down and they're irrelevant, and then you see them decline and you see the points and you see them just go down the table. But they haven't done that still. They're still third and Vardy's back now. So I think this is going to be interesting to see if Vardy can last the rest of the season. Because I think Vardy is really important to the Leicester team.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, massively. What I would say in that is, I'm going to go with Leicester. I mean, we're going to move on to fourth position. This is where it's up for debate, and this is where we'll really delve into it. Obviously, if you look at the table at the moment, you've got, obviously we're sitting there at the moment, but then you look at the people that are outside of it, and you've got West Ham, Liverpool, and Everton. And West Ham are on 42 points with us at the moment, playing very well. Liverpool are 40 points. Everton are on 37. They've just lost a game, but they still have a game in hand. And then you've still got Aston Villa, Tottenham, and Arsenal, who are 36 points. So there's not a massive gap from where, say Tottenham, because Arsenal are on 34. So say from Tottenham in 9th all the way up to where we are in 4th. It's about 7 points difference. Who do we honestly think can challenge for that top 4? Not specifically get there, but challenge and actually cause a bit of an issue out of these teams.
I think West Ham can. West Ham have been solid. Like the last couple of months, they've literally been solid. The fact that they're 5th, usually they're not this high up. Like usually you don't even see West Ham in the top 4 game. Like this is unheard of, but they've kept their nerve. They've kept going, and they've had like a loss and a draw, but they've had 3 wins. Like this is good. Like, and they're attacking more. They're defending quite well, to be honest. But I think West Ham have a chance at getting top 4, to be honest.
Yeah, I hear that. What about you, Dan? West Ham? What are we saying? Do you think they can be there, or do you think Europa League's good for them? Maybe 6th, 7th. What do you feel with them?
They won't get there. They will challenge. They won't get there. I don't even think they'll finish 5th. I still think they'll drop. I said my top 4 will be Liverpool, United, Chelsea, City, in whatever order you want it. But it's tough, man. Like this Premier League has definitely been this season has been one of the hardest to predict, just based on the fact that people literally bug out and it could literally happen to anyone. You could just go through. Like, think about it. Like, I don't think we're putting enough emphasis on how 4 games, a 4-game winning streak for Chelsea put us back in the top 4. Like,
yeah,
when we were saying, we might not even finish in the top 4, da-di-da-di-da. Because normally, like, if you win 4 games, that normally maybe takes 3 points off a lead for you because other teams are also winning games. But it's the fact that other teams are dropping points around us. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, but when you look at the best of the rest, I think Leicester are the best of the rest because I don't think they'll finish in the top 4. I think Leicester will finish 5th. And then you've got literally the Evertons, the Villas, Tottenham, Arsenal. We're yet to see where they will finish. But yeah, West Ham will give it a good go. But Europa League, I think, is there. That's what they're aiming.
Velbushon says Mark Noble and Dawson doing a madness at the Camp Nou. Can you imagine that if they actually made Champions League and they got Barcelona? That would be so funny. Look, I mean, 4th is up for grab. I think 4th and 3rd is up for grab. It's not just 4th, to be fair. And then you look at Everton, for example, and Ancelotti, they've got a good manager. Okay, they lost today, but everyone's losing to Man City at the moment, so that's not really a testament against them as a team at the moment. For me, they haven't got Dominic Calvert-Lewin today, who I think is massively important for them as well if they're going to get into the Europa League / Champions League as well. I think Everton will be in the Europa League. I do. I don't think they'll get top 4. I think there'll be Europa League side. Yeah.
Let me just clarify though, in terms of why I think Leicester won't finish in the top 4. I'm literally basing it for people that don't understand, because some people think it's nuts. But I'm literally basing it off of there's still so many games to go, and yes, they've proven so far they can handle everything that has come their way. But the point I'm trying to make is that evidence has shown that Leicester have faltered, and then they have a manager who has faltered twice now in big situations. So at the end of the day, they got another injury as well. Jose Perez is out. James Justin is out. Johnny Evans ended that game with an injury, like he soldiered through, but we don't know how serious that is. So look, we just don't know. Leicester don't have the manpower and the resources to just carry on. And I believe that they're in the Europa League as well. So when the Europa League comes back as well, it's going to be 2 games a week or even 3. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I hear that. I do hear that. What about, we're going to get to, I want to save Liverpool to last because I really want to delve into them and actually break down some decent conversations about them. But Aston Villa, I mean, again, they're, playing quite well. Jack Grealish is on fire. Ollie Watkins has came in. He's doing a good job for him as well. Is there any chance that Aston Villa, I mean, looking at them at the moment, how far are they off at the moment? 36 points. They're on 22 games. They've still got 2 games in hand. Is there any chance that they could maybe push the 4th/Europa League position, or do you think they will stay where they are at the moment?
I don't know. You see, they've lost a couple of games, and they've looked poor doing it. But then, if you look at them playing when they get a goal from like the first 2 minutes, when Ollie Watkins got that goal in the second minute, and they just kept that 1-0 for the end. Against Arsenal, I think, but Arsenal aren't the greatest of teams. I'm not even playing like they have off days. Like Arsenal are one of those teams you're not sure who's going to turn up. I feel like Aston Villa have to kind of prove themselves against the bigger teams before, like, especially towards the end. Towards the end, when you see Aston Villa, but maybe perform against the bigger teams, then maybe you can decide. But as far as I'm concerned, the consistency is not great for them. I think they'll finish eighth or 9th. Yeah.
Fair enough. Dan, what you saying, man? Do you think Aston Villa are a top, and where they are now, sort of team? Do you think they can do better? 7th, 6th, 5th? Could they push 4th if they really put in some good run?
Yeah, in and around finishing 6th is their seat. Is like the ceiling, like reaching potential. They've already had a great season, man. They've already had a great season. They can already be proud of what they have done. Obviously, now having been in a position where they can push on, they're going to be setting their achievements higher. As I say all the time, when the facts change, the opinions do. And Aston Villa are in contention, so they will obviously try and win as many games as possible. But I think where they are right now is a nice depiction of where they would like to be and what they should be pushing for, like Europa League and trying to get that last spot. So yeah, I don't see them pushing top 4 at all.
I hear that. I mean, we got to never see. Let's keep smashing that like button. Let's try and get this show to 20, yeah, for my fellow man Indiana. And if you're new here, please subscribe as well. We're trying to build up the channel. There's so many ideas that we're going to be doing on this platform soon as well. Obviously, he's hosting a lot of different types of shows with the ladies, and obviously the next generation, the grounded football, Fraud Watch, which is obviously one of the biggest ones that we do on here as well. So yeah, big up to him. And moving on to that, we're going to talk a bit about Tottenham. Let's talk about Tottenham and Arsenal, because they're both sitting next to each other. They're both sitting next to each other, 2 points within each other. Obviously, Spurs have got a game in hand, so they could, in theory, be around 7th, in theory. But do we see these two teams progressing or even building up a bit of consistency to maybe challenge for a 4th position? Or do we think it's too much for them and we can, we think they can do Europa League? Or do we think it can go the other way and they could be like, because looking at it, they could get overtaken below them as well.
Look at Tottenham.
What are we feeling about Tottenham and Arsenal?
Spurs have 4 games that they've lost and 1 win out of 5 games. It's not good. Like it's not standard of Mourinho. Like Mourinho, I feels like parking the bus a lot of the times, where he's like playing a game and he gets a goal and then he's just parking the bus. Arsenal have been turning up in the last few games. I'll give them credit for that. Like the last couple of games, they've kind of turned up. I think do you know what? I want Spurs to do well for 2 reasons. 1, Harry Kane. 2, Son. They are 2 players that deserve Europa League. They deserve Champions League. Do I want Spurs to bottle it? Absolutely. Do I think Harry Kane and Son should leave at the end of the season? Absolutely. I think the only way they're going to win trophies, like Harry Kane's 20, 27, 28, and so Son, like they're getting on. They're getting on from the prime. Like the only way they're going to get trophies is if they leave the club.
Yeah.
Arsenal, I think, have more of a chance if they continue to turn up and go onwards and get goals. Arsenal, I think, have more of a chance to maybe go to like 8th, 7th.
Yeah.
But I think Europa League is what they're going to be stuck with. I don't think they're going anywhere above 7th.
Fair enough. We have RDS with us as well. RDS, how you doing, my man? You all right? You all good?
Doing good, thanks. Yep, I'm doing good. Sorry about the lateness.
No, that's all right. That's all right. So we've got the table up just to help you catch up. We're talking about who we believe can make the top 4, and what we're doing is we've said our 1 to 3, and then we haven't really spoken about 4. We've not spoken about Liverpool yet as well. But who is your top 4? Who do you think is going to make the top 4 in your eyes?
Well, City are obviously going to win the title, so I think that, especially after what I saw to Everton there, that's done. So that's one position sorted. The other second to fourth, second to fourth is actually quite difficult now. I would have originally said United, but their recent form has been a bit iffy. I will still say United though, because Ollie has this weird thing when his job is on the line, he'll pull a couple of results together and he'll just make it work. So I still think Manchester United will should still secure top 4. They might necessarily be second, but they'll still secure it. Leicester City, an interesting one because Brendan Rodgers is doing a very, very good job, but they do occasionally drop points against like lesser teams for unknown reasons, like Crystal Palace and Leeds, etc. And they are heavily reliant on Jamie Vardy. If Jamie Vardy ever gets injured, they don't. Take it back. They're not heavily reliant on Jamie Vardy in the sense that they have crap players. By that I mean, the way that they play is different, or it's more effective when he's playing. If it makes any sense, without him, they don't score as many goals. So him fit is important. This is a tough one, man.
It is.
Chelsea are doing well under Tuchel. I'm not going to lie, but the thing even with Chelsea is that we need to see how he goes up against the top 4, 5, 6 rivals. So he's not played City yet. He's not played United yet. He's not played Leicester yet. He's not played West Ham yet. He's not played Liverpool yet. He's not even played Everton yet, or even Villa yet. So aside from Spurs, who I don't think are going to reach top 4, so I think we'll have a better idea of Chelsea. So far, I'm still going to say they're going to miss out, just purely on the fact that we still have not seen them against all those teams that I've talked about, and I'm not 100% convinced they'll get those dubs yet.
I want to just touch on something very quickly, and it's not about Chelsea. I want to touch about Man United very quickly. We were 10 points. We were 10 points behind you when Lampard left, and obviously, yes, we have had a nice little bit of a fixture list since Tuchel's come in terms of Wolves. We did have to play Spurs, and we did beat them as well, which we have to bear in mind. Still supposed top 6, and then you had Sheffield United, and then I can't remember who else we played recently. Someone else anyway. But looking at Man United, do you feel like they've gone on a bit of a blip? And are you worried that blip may continue because you have dropped points? We've gained 6 points on you, bro. Since
we've
4 games.
We've definitely dropped a blip. I mean, I think this is the thing. It's just like United were basically we were basically the most consistent team in the league since we lost to Arsenal. I think at the end of October. So from I think the end of October to basically just the beginning of February, United were probably the most consistent team in the league. So it doesn't surprise me that in the last couple of games we have taken a bit of a dip, because the inevitable form was going to happen, especially with injuries to Pogba and what have you. But I don't necessarily think that going to the end of the season that this is going to be like we're going to now go on a run of like 10 games where United are going to be drawing, losing, etc. Like we'll have Ollie's pattern is usually like we have a blip for a bit and then go on a run, and then have a blip and then go on for an extended run, having a blip and go for an extended run.
But how do you feel? Because we've gained points on you, like Leicester on the same points as you. Can you hold on with all the pressure? Because these teams are still going to be like coming at you, and your form's kind of dipped. Now, if you're like, I'm not saying it's going to dip forever, but if it dips for a few more games, and Leicester, Chelsea, and West Ham,
Liverpool 6 points.
Liverpool. Like we all go ahead of you. You're going to end up in sixth place. Like you see what I mean? Like it's so indecisive.
Well, this is why this is interesting. That's why I'm not as worried, because unlike previous seasons, even if you scroll down, you could argue that Aston Villa are sniffing around there because they've got 2 games in hand. There are a lot in the top 4, and so a lot of teams are going to be taking points of each other. So it's not necessarily like in previous seasons when there might have been like maybe 5 or 6. There's still about 7 playing against West Ham at some point, or they're going to be playing against Liverpool against some point. So even this weekend, for example, Liverpool playing Everton. If Everton, for example, somehow get the dub against Liverpool at Anfield and we beat Newcastle, United are now 9 points ahead of Liverpool.
So what we're saying is the key games, in all fairness, are the ones that we play against each other, which is going to determine in many ways where we will end up in the table, pretty much, wasn't it? To be fair, so
but can you blame, like, because I heard you like bringing the fact that Pogba's injured, like we can't be bringing injury into this. Like, I'm sorry, Chelsea have been called out so many times for when our players are injured. Like when Ziyech wasn't on form, and they were like, "Yeah, Ziyech is the problem." Like Hudson-Odoi injured. Oh, Hudson-Odoi, like. All these players, like, no, not coming up with the injury.
We've been bantering Chelsea because you've got Timo Werner, who's not been injured but not been scoring goals. That's
got a goal.
Where the banter's been coming from.
I agree. But when you have a manager that doesn't trust you enough to play in your own position, that's got to affect you somehow. When he doesn't trust you enough to play in your rightful position.
Where is his rightful position? Because it's not number 9.
Where he is now, RDS. Where he is now. No, it's kind of more of a.
He's not playing on the wing. It's an inverted winger.
It's like
an inverted winger. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So one of Pulisic, so that Pulisic needs to drop to the bench then.
Well, I'm happy for Pulisic. I'm happy for Pulisic to leave the club. I'm happy for Pulisic to leave the club.
This guy was one of the best players last season.
He wasn't. He had moments of greatness. My problem with Pulisic is the man is 22, 23 years old, and he's been out of injury 20 times. How is that like? That's just not good enough for me. If you look at the time he's played to the time he's been injured at Chelsea, he's been injured more than he has played. He's been injured 3 times for a few months. Like, and when Hudson-Odoi came back from a really bad injury, he's turned up this season. Like, he's been one of our only players during Lampard that looked like they wanted something, that had that spark in their eye, that looked like they wanted something. Like, Pulisic has turned up, and I don't really know he's on the pitch until I see him on camera. Like, and Ziyech is another story.
How much did you spend on all these players? That's the.
Yeah, I'm ready to get rid of both Ziyech. I have a list. I have a list of players to get rid of.
Let's wait till the end of the season. Look, Dan, how do you feel about this Ziyech and Pulisic going and this and that? Do you think we just need to give it to the end of the season?
Of course, man. Tuchel's come in, and like I keep saying, he's literally trying to have his preseason while still getting results. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's trying to assess all the players that he has, trying to use the squad to the best of its ability and get the results that will get him get the right players on the pitch that will get him results at the end of the day. And effectively, that's what he's doing. He's seeing the players who are in form, the players who are playing with. Some guys who are even in form might not be his players next season. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's nothing's final and nothing's clear.
Set in stone. Yeah.
I think it's interesting that like he's brought in players that Chelsea fans like hated and out from the wind, and he's brought like Kepa was apparently a joke. He's now back. Alonso was a
he's
joke.
Not back.
No. Kepa is not back. Kepa is not back. We have lost money on that man. We bought him for 70 million. We will be giving him away to charity for free.
You know, I was told that Alonso was never going to sniff Chelsea FC pitch ever again, and yet I'm seeing him play for Chelsea Football Club.
I've never said anything bad about Alonso. Like, I've never said he's the greatest player in the world, but when he was in his prime, he did okay. Like, I can't fault him. Like, he did his job, but he's
got
like,
Chilwell,
but Chilwell hasn't turned up for me. I'd rather have, if Alonso's going to turn up like this and actually do his job, because bear in mind, Alonso hasn't played for how long? I don't remember the last time I saw Alonso. Like, he hasn't played.
Quick question. So which player that you spent money on this transfer window has actually done anything worthwhile for Chelsea Football Club? Bearing in mind you have a net spend of 200 million this summer.
Yeah, none. Absolutely none. Apart from maybe Thiago Silva was for free, so I can't really comment on that.
I'd say Mendy.
Mendy's done his job.
Mendy.
But I don't think Werner's done it assist-wise, but I don't think goal-wise he's kind of as getting goals. He hasn't done what he did at Dortmund.
Yeah, but he's been. The thing, can I just say saying that he's been more involved.
He has passing. I agree with that.
He might have not scored goals, but what he has done is he's contributed in the way we play at the moment. If it's winning us a penalty, if it's assisting, he's still doing things. I'll give you an example, RDS. You look at like Martial, for example. He doesn't when Martial's in a blitz, he just disappears. He doesn't have no effect on the game. He doesn't put himself in the right areas. He just sieves away. With Werner, he's in the right areas. He's just not converting, and that's just a lack of confidence at times. So he's always he's always going a bit like Rashford. When Rashford has a bad game, he comes back again, and you could see the hunger in his eyes. He wants to, be an influence on the team in many ways, if that makes sense. And that's what Werner does. Same sort of thing.
But you see when Werner was missing the goals, you saw his frustration, which comes across as passion, because he's frustrated that he's not getting it. He's done tactically. But apart from Werner and Mendy, none of our signings have done bugger all. I'm quite happy to just ignore any of them. I don't even know. Thiago Silva was for free, so he doesn't, like, money wise. If you're looking at what we've bought him from, he doesn't. But Thiago Silva's obviously like one of our best gets this season, I believe.
He was.
But I don't think Ziyech, Havertz, have done anything to me, like, and Chilwell.
Yeah, well, look, Havertz has been ill when he's been injured, so it's hard to throw Havertz in that position.
But we'll take Havertz out. But I think Ziyech and Chilwell have done. I wasn't even pleased we got Chilwell in the first place. I wasn't even pleased.
Does Havertz come back into the team though, even though he's fit?
No,
I think you'll see him slowly come in. But look, no, I actually think, RDS, that you might even see him play as like the hold-off striker, so playing off Werner. So you might see him actually be pushed further up the pitch rather than in the 10 role where Mount is at the moment. That's what I think.
I think he has to start by coming on as a sub to kind of prove his worth, because Havertz. I think he has to start as a sub, because right now Mount has been more consistent.
That's an expensive sub. 100 million sub. That's a very expensive sub.
But I didn't really expect him. But then, I mean, look at Kepa. He was 70 million. Is he worth 70 million now? No. Are we trying to give him away for free? Absolutely. Will charities take him? No. Will the rubbish bin men take him? No.
So what you're saying, Shah, is you're saying Chelsea Football Club destroys players' careers? Is that
no, they don't. No.
That's what you're saying.
Charlotte, stop. I know what RDS is doing.
Robin.
I know what he's doing. We're not making this about a Chelsea. This is not a Chelsea conversation. We're talking about other teams as well.
Kepa was a bad signing but that was Marina's fault. And I think Kepa being played is actually Marina's string pulling. I don't believe it's Tuchel's choice. I believe Marina signed him, and this is just my opinion on this. Marina signed him, and she wants to see him succeed, or at least play him so he gets some monetary value, so we can sell him at the end of the season. So if he has a few performances this season, like we can sell him at the end of the season for like £1 million. Because that's all he's worth.
Let's move on from Chelsea, because I don't want to get stuck on Chelsea at the moment. This is not a Chelsea conversation. It's not Chelsea. I want to talk a bit. We've got 10 minutes or so left. I want to touch on Liverpool, and I want to talk about if they can really challenge for the top four. If we still believe that they can get in. If so, who's going to be pulled out? Or can we imagine title defending Liverpool being in the Europa League for next season? RDS. Do you think that's possible, or do you think there will be a comeback of some kind from them now? Would you think there will be a push?
I mean, for me, the key is the game is this weekend. It's at Anfield. You know, if Everton beat Liverpool at Anfield, you guys are talking about Europa League. I'm even talking about Europa Conference League, because Europa Conference League is going to be a thing in 2021. And the end of this season 21. So it's Champions League, Europa League, Europa Conference League that's starting. So Liverpool aren't careful. They're going to be the first English debutants for the Europa Conference League.
Yeah. You know what? That's amazing. That's amazing. That is amazing. I swear.
You don't want that at the football club where you're the first debutants of the UEFA Europa.
Do you know what's so bad as well, RDS? They ain't even had a blimmin' ceremony for the it's the worst title winning team I've ever seen. Do you know what I mean? Ever.
I'm wanting to see what the actual, we've got the Europa League song. Oh, whoa. I'm just interested to see what the UEFA Conference League song is going to be like. There's just going to be some like BMX, like sorts of Matrix stuff just coming in. Just being
So what do we feel then? Do we feel like, I know you've said that this game's very key. There is still a lot of games to be played. Another 15 odd game. Well, not that 14 odd games or whatever. But are they good? I mean, they are good enough. We know that. But are we confident in them? Are we confident in them making it? Is what I'm trying to say.
They're not capable of it, as far as I'm concerned right now. For me, the biggest game, as the current champions, the biggest game for me was against Man City, a title challenging team who are running away with the title. That for me was the biggest match for me, because that is Man City are running away with this title, and for me, that Liverpool turning up in that game would have decided it for me. I especially think at Anfield as well, where they haven't beaten them since 2002, 2003. And I think it's poor. I think they haven't turned up, and we can't just be like, oh, they're going to turn up. They're going to turn up. Right now, they haven't turned up for long enough that I've forgotten what Liverpool. I mean, they turn up in the Champions League, but they're not turning up in the Premier League, which means they can choose to turn up, which I think must be frustrating for Liverpool fans, because they chose to turn up in the Champions League. They choose not to turn up against the Premier League teams. They're the current champions. They should be at least giving their trophy a good shot at a defence, and they're not. They're not title defending anything. They're just letting it slip through their fingers. And for me, that as champions shows poor quality, and I think they're going to finish in the Europa League.
I think what you have to remember. I think just quickly, I just want to say with Liverpool, what you have to remember is, look, not having Van Dijk for a majority of the season can be considered a reason as to why their team isn't functioning. No. Because trust me, I'm one of the biggest critics of Liverpool and their fans and how they present their team's situation. But what I would say is one thing that has been highlighted is that the system isn't foolproof, that it only takes a couple of little tweaks and then nothing. Like, I was of the mindset last season that system was like the perfect system. Any player who comes in plays well in that system. I mean, you saw Origi do well in the Champions League. Shaqiri would come in and score big goals in big games. But it goes to show that there's no system their system isn't foolproof, and that's one thing that Klopp hasn't realized. And it's going to be interesting to see how he responds to that next year, if he carries on going through like in different form, or if he can create the system that was like raw, like we've never seen this before, kind of thing.
To be honest,
I think. Sorry, so come on.
I was going to say, to be honest, I just think like
apparently I've been called out on the football show. I don't know by who. Someone's been calling me out badly, so I don't know who it is. We'll find out later on.
Were you the one that said Haaland was? No, that was a gal. Someone said that Haaland was like.
It was a gal. No, it's to do with Chelsea. It's a Chelsea fan as well, apparently. So I'll be interested to know what he's got to say.
Right.
Some Go on. RDS, finish off, my man. Finish off.
I was just saying that, like, I actually don't think the issue was the system that Klopp's worked, to be honest, because in most of the games that Liverpool have lost this season, aside from the blip with City, they've pretty much dominated most of their games. They just have not been able to score goals. That's been the big issue. Not that the system is a problem, it's that Salah and Mane have just not been as clinical as they were. And that actually wasn't the case at the beginning of the season when Jota was fit, because he was that extra spice that created things. And I think that I think people thought that Thiago was going to be like a Pogba or De Bruyne type player, but I don't think really we even know what he is for Liverpool. And it looks like he's destabilized the midfield, So, but in whether Liverpool are going to make it or not, like I said, for me, I think the most important game is actually the Merseyside derby this weekend, because Everton have ambitions for top four, Liverpool have, and if Everton beat Liverpool, they're going to be on the same number of points, So if Liverpool lose this, I think top four's over for them. There's no point even talking about it.
I don't think we can particularly blame the fact that Van Dijk and Jota are out as one of the main reasons, because when Van Dijk got injured, they were still playing well. They've played a couple of games. They've played a couple of games where they've actually turned up when Jota was injured. So my point is, if they can turn it on and off, like what's going on? Klopp looks absolutely defeated. He looks like he's had enough. Like he looks like he's done. He doesn't look like he has the passion that he had anymore. Liverpool have been found out.
No! Come on, that's a bit extreme.
No, but he looks. I'm saying he looks it. He looks defeated. Like
he looks exactly like Pep did when he got beaten by Lyon last season.
But this is my point. Like we can't just be blaming because players are out. Because if players are out. If that was like, this is how my mind works. If players were out and I was always on the subs bench, I'd be thinking, great, this is my time to shine, to prove to Klopp why I deserve a starting 11 place. Like they've got youngsters like Minamino. Has he actually turned up? No. Like he's been irrelevant. Like Thiago's not been anything useful. Salah, Firmino, actually not Firmino. Salah and Mane just haven't turned up at all. And I think they have to be held accountable because they haven't turned up.
I'm not just blaming
like two people. Like the whole team has been pulled. Alisson, I don't even know. I think Alisson is like Kepa has gone to Alisson. Kepa's gone to Alisson, and they've like hugged it out, and like Kepa's given Alisson his bad vibes, which is why the Kabak Alisson like spearing happened in WWE, like wrestling terms. Like I didn't realize that Kabak thought he was playing rugby, but I'm not sure who went first. I thought Alisson maybe was rugby tackling him, but like I think Alisson's had a few bad games, and we have to hold accountable. When the goalkeeper's having a bad game, the defense then struggles. Like
that's my point though. You can't what's it called? Like it's a multitude of reasons. There isn't one reason why Liverpool isn't playing well. And
I agree with that.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying. I think when you have
goals, that's been a big reason.
Yeah, but also when you've got a goalkeeper that's not performing well, and a defense that's struggling, which they are right now. Like their defense is all over the place. When you look at the goals being scored.
Manchester United's defense has conceded more goals than Liverpool this season, and yet we're above them. Why are we above them?
No. What I'm saying is, if you look at the space in that, and like when you guys, at least you're trying to get to them, the spacing they get through.
we're scoring more goals. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, no, I get that. Like, that makes sense.
I don't
and
even
the
think
couple of
it's as simple
seasons,
as that.
That makes sense.
RDS keep it.
But
RDS
there are loads of reasons why Liverpool aren't performing. Like, that's a fact. Like,
Yeah, but
there's a multitude
it's
of
also
reasons.
a system thing as well with them. You know, they've stuck to their old ways and have been stuck to old ways for over
Yeah.
what 2-3 years now without improving a squad as well. So go on, RDS, you can finish
I
up,
think-
bro, and we're going to tie it up. Bro. Go on.
yeah, no, it's just to the point that like this is a Liverpool side that has barely been changed for the last 3 seasons, has performed the highest, that's been performed at the highest level, and the fact is that they have been heavily reliant in the system on their fullbacks, obviously Bonham delivering, and Salah and Mane scoring a lot of their goals. So as soon as Salah and Mane, because they didn't really score that many goals from midfield as such, aside from Ox, you know, they didn't really have what I would call a creative cam type of player.
No, but RDS, with what you're saying and the lack of goals, that's the point where I say in the system, what the system that they were playing wasn't sustainable. It was relying on the fact that the wingers would get a high volume of goals. Because think about it, who scored all the goals for Liverpool last year? It was Mane and Salah. Firmino didn't get that many. The midfield doesn't really get that many goals. Maybe you could give a couple goals to their fullbacks, and that's it. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, when one person literally stops scoring those goals and you're only getting goals from the other side, you're not getting 10 from another person in the starting 11. So that's where the problem lies. The system isn't sustainable. It's to score a high.
But that's not a system problem, though, is it? That's a player problem. If I put Jadon Sancho or Mbappe into that, then suddenly the goals become more.
Not necessarily, though. Not necessarily.
No, I agree with
I
Daniel.
get what you're saying. Well, Mbappe, yeah, fair enough, cool. That's an anomaly, innit? But
he's saying
yeah, of course. But I'm saying, let's be a bit realistic. We put a winger maybe on the same level as Mane, so within the same stratosphere. So maybe like a I don't even know. Obviously not the same level, but like a Kingsley Coman or Jadon Sancho, one of these type of wingers. It doesn't mean it's going to translate to goals again, because, and the reason why I say it's down to system is because, like, if your system hasn't been created in a way where other people in your team can carry or share the burden of goals, then that's a system problem for me. If your goals are reliant on a specific person or 2 specific people, if someone else can't adjust, if the system can't adjust and have someone else share that burden, then it's a system problem for me. That's what I believe.
I hear you. And on that note, we've just hit over the hour mark. It's been a great show again. We will have the usual regular panelists list back next week. I've got to thank Charlotte and Daniel for showing support today. Honestly, it was very last minute. RDS as always jumping in as one of the regulars as well. Guys, we'll see you again same time again next week. I hope you all have a great evening and take care of yourselves. See you again. Peace.
Yeah, see you guys. Peace.